Jennifer Lynn Lawrence, who both helped plan the January 6th rally on the ellipse, are cooperating with the committee investigating the insurrection. They are accompanied by Dustin's attorney, Josh.
Well, I just watched your introduction, Chris, and that is exactly the kind of misinformation that drove us to put the tour together in the first place.
What was misinformed?
The way you characterize. No, I want to bring some. I think it's important to set the record straight.
Sure.
You said the characterization that we were dangled a pardon by Paul Gosar in order to put these events together just simply doesn't match the facts.
You had a phone conversation with Paul Gosar's chief of staff, right?
Yeah, we did talk to Tom Van Fleen, yep.
Yeah, and he said that the Paul Gosar had been talking to the president specifically about pardons.
Correct, yes.
Okay, so in a conversation with you in which he's praising your work organizing the rallies, he also tells you that the congressman had a conversation with the president of the United States about pardons, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that did happen.
Okay.
These two individuals were involved in planning the January 6th rally and claim to be entirely innocent when it comes to everything involving the insurrection. Now, whether or not that's true is for the investigation to determine. But their mentality here when talking about the potentiality of a pardon and how that may have been a topic of conversation when they were talking to people in Congress didn't seem wrong at all in their mind, or potentially an indication that maybe perhaps the January 6th rally could have turned into something more like the insurrection that it ended up being. But all of this also speaks to a mentality that's very pervasive among Republicans. You see, they don't think they can do anything wrong because, of course, they're not criminals. Now, criminal in their mind is not a person who commits a crime. In the mind of most Republicans, the whole notion of criminal is more about identity, or specifically anybody that is marginalized or people that Republicans just generally don't like. In the mind of Republicans, criminal usually means person of color, queer person, poor person, or a homeless person. It couldn't possibly mean these upper middle class white families that just happen to be planning innocent rallies that just coincidentally turn into attempted coups. That couldn't be criminal. The reality is that politicians and the media have worked together very hard to make sure that especially black people in particular are portrayed as being criminal. And even the notion of calling a person a criminal is something that has been heavily racialized to the point where even mass shooters, as long as they're white, people will have a conversation about mental illness instead of having a real conversation about maybe these white nationalists spreading propaganda on the internet and the availability of guns is actually leading to a giant systemic problem where we have mass shooters running around almost every single day. Because it couldn't possibly be that, right? Those people couldn't possibly be criminal. But the ultimate reality is we want to rehabilitate everybody. We want to make sure that everybody's needs are met. I personally think that our entire prison system needs to be completely dismantled and turned into an actual rehabilitative system that helps take care of people's needs and is capable of fully reintegrating people into society in a healthy and supportive way. But these conservatives want to make sure that only their needs are met. That's why they stormed the Capitol in the first place. These people stormed the Capitol because they think that the entire apparatus of democracy should only exist to the extent that it does what rich white people want it to do. They would gladly sacrifice democracy if it meant more dollars in their pocket, and they would happily turn their eye to any atrocities or horrors that would be committed against marginalized people. This is Ben Carollo with Rebel Headquarters. You can catch my show Galaxy Brain every Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, and if you want to stay up to date with my content, you can follow me on Twitter at Benjamin Carollo.